Hospitals worry a legal battle between UNOS, the United Network for Organ Sharing, and the Transplant Screening Service could put added pressure on the already complicated organ transplant process. 8 News reporter Sierra Krug joining us live with what we need to know tonight. Sierra.
Well, Eric, UNOS has accused Buckeye Transplant Services of violating data accessibility protocols, essentially putting donor and patient privacy at risk. Now that accusation turned legal as Buckeye filed a lawsuit against UNOS, maintaining they've always complied with proper guidelines for their DonorNet database.
Organ transplants are high-stakes, delicate operations. Now 2 entities dedicated to fighting to save lives with those operations now fighting with each other. The United Network for Organ Sharing, a Richmond-based nonprofit commonly referred to as UNOS, accusing Buckeye Transplant Services of putting donor and patient privacy at risk by using technology to gain unauthorized, improper access to a DonorNet database. In response, Buckeye Transplant Services filed a lawsuit against UNOS, denying any wrongdoing. In a statement, they said Buckeye does not have or want unrestricted access to OPTN, Organ Procurement and Transplantation Network data. Now, this isn't UNOS's first controversy, but the reason this debate has become so high profile is because of talk that it could impact transplant operations. UNOS threatened to cut off Buckeye's access to data needed to operate, but still insists no transplant program will experience any interruptions in receiving organ offers. Buckeye believes otherwise, warning that if they lose access to crucial data, 63 hospitals across the country, 2 right here in Virginia, could have to take on extra burdens. One of those healthcare systems, UVA's Transplant Center, tells 8 News that they are closely monitoring the situation and are already coming up with plans to prevent any legal hiccups from interrupting the life-saving organ donation process. And a spokesperson for the Federal Health Resources and Services Administration told the Washington Post that the federal agency would step in if disruptions to transplant surgeries occur as a result of the dispute. As of June 30th, nearly 3,000 people remain waitlisted for such donations here in Virginia alone. It's also worth noting UNOS's multi-million-dollar contract with the federal government is looming expiration later this year.
In terms of a timeline, this dispute actually has been going on behind the scenes for months. It became more public on July 3rd when Buckeye filed their lawsuit against UNOS, who then deferred further action until a federal court makes a decision on July 19th. For the time being, Buckeye still has access to data needed to provide their services. Live in the Digital Center, Sierra Krug, 8 News.